Well, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Papa's Workshops. These are for Adam, Brady, Luke, and Brenna, and for all those others like seeing an old man make sawdust. But let's check in with my apprentice first. There she is with her toys under the bed, or under the bench, not the bed, the bench. Let's get to work, Rose. All right, today the table is finished. Um, So we'll just get into showing the completed part. All right, here's the finished table. Before we get into the demonstrations about the expanding part, let's get a little background. This is an expanding table, but not the ones you see on YouTube where the center star comes up and the leaves automatically come up. And there's two reasons for that. One is, well, I guess there's three reasons. One is it's way more complicated. Usually it has metal parts, linear bearings and stuff for the ramp, but it requires that the apron be really tall, like 5-6 inches in some designs. And I think that looks odd. Plus, this is made to fit into a smaller dining room. This table has a 45-inch diameter when it's closed. But it expands to an oval shape, so it's going to be 54 inches by 63 inches when it's expanded, which you could fit 8 people around it if they're friendly. It's only about 23 inches per person, and usually the recommendation is 24 to 25 for round tables. So that's why we picked this, and this is from Robert Jupes, was the original person that patented the expanding tables in 1835. With his, he stored the leaves in a separate tray out, away from the table. This one, you have to put the leaves in manually, like Robert Jupes, but they are stored inside the table. So that's sort of the background of where we're at with this. I made this table once before in 2012 as a wedding gift for my youngest. I'll put a link in the description to that video. I wanted to make this one a little fancier. That one, they wanted it to look like a Pottery Barn table, so I call it my heirloom Pottery Barn table. This one's a little more over the top, as you can see. So let's get into the motions. All right, let's open this thing up. You can see the leaves are stored in there. They're folded in half, so I'm putting those out. And then they have to be set into that other side of the pie so that all the leaves are pushed forward as it's closed, and then everything lines up when it closes. So here's the last one being put in. And then we reach down to our handle and close it back up and put it back under tension so everything stays closed, nothing rattles. Here's a view from the top of it opening up. You can see the mechanisms from there. Here's what it looks like with all the leaves in. Here's a view of the pocket that the leaves go in. The black is the rotating disc. The purple is just felt for the cushion the leaves, and it's marked with letters so that you know which one goes where. Everything is custom fit, right? So here's a view of the mechanism again. We got that white plastic. It's ultra high molecular weight plastic. It's sort of self-lubricating. When something is spilled in there, it's not going to foul up the mechanism. It's not going to rust. Nothing's going to rust. And it's all workable with regular woodworking tools. So here's a view of the rails that the pie sections are mounted to. And again, we're using that white plastic to keep things moving smoothly. You can see at the end of the rail, we've got that little end cap. There's going to be a view of that. That's when it's closed. Again, that's an anthus leaf. You'll see that theme throughout. That's a traditional carving of this period. I'm kind of go in a Chippendale style. So here's a view of the handle. Let's see how this, we got a spring loaded. The handle fits up into that notch when it's under tension and then folds up out of the way. So two things for one. So here's a view of the pedestal, the top part. And again, we have the anthus leaf. And that whole pedestal piece, the column and the anthus leaf part was all turned as one piece. It's solid cherry. It's glued up from 1/4 or 2-inch thick stuff, but it's solid throughout. There's a view of the lower part. We got the brackets, have anthus leaves on them as well. And you see that circular section at the bottom, that had to be coped to fit into that profile so those corners look right. There's a view of the feet, little bun feet underneath each end. And actually, it's pretty stable. Even when it's expanded, it's not very tippy at all. So I think we got that part of it right. And that is about it. Any questions or comments, let me know. I did show this at the Kansas City Woodworking Guild. I will try to put a link of that video in there in the description as well. And on to the next project, which may not happen right away. Need a break after these long ones. Anyway, thanks for watching.